Hello, today I will show you how to add lookup table to parametric family of elbow. Why do we need it? We need it if you want to adjust the geometry of the object based on the input of the user. For example, if user will change the value of the diameter from 100 to 150, then radius should change, angle should change. Oh, sorry, not diameter should change, thickness also should be adjusted accordingly. But before, we will change the parameters that we have here on the parameters based on the shared parameters. And for this one, we need to first create the shared parameters file. For this one, we need to go to the Manage tab, go to Shared Parameters, and click on the Create button. In my case, I did create this file already, so I don't need to do so. And then inside, I did create two groups by clicking on in the group section, clicking on New. First will be the set of parameters that relate to a material takeoff, and the second one to the piping component. And let's see what do we have here. Here we have a bunch of parameters related to the MTO and a list of the parameters related to the geometry of the object. Let's add them now to the family, or we will just reassign a part of them. For that, we need to click on the Edit and select Shared Parameters. And from the list of the shared parameters, we need to select items with the proper category. This will be angle. I will explain you why do we need it. The problem is then that once those parameters are family based, it is not possible to create any kind of report based on these parameters. So this is why, if you think that you need this parameter to be extracted to any kind of list, you need to ensure that it will be added via the shared parameters. Also, when you add in parameters via the shared parameter, then it means that this instance of the parameter always will be the same for all the families where you will add it. Because if you will compare it with the regular family parameter, if you will add the multiple instances of the diameter, then all of them will be separate, and of course they will not be visible in any lists generated from the software. Okay, let's add a bunch of additional parameters that will be related to the material takeoff. I will start from the description. It will be parameter of type. Now I can click on apply, and that's it. Now what we will do, we will link lookup table with this family. For that one, we will use lookup tables. What is lookup table? You can read it on official portal of the Autodesk. About the lookup tables in Revit, you can read in this article on official Autodesk resources. And about the structure of this CSV file, you can find information here. What will be important to mention that you need to follow a certain structure as mentioned here, and also format of the input data should be as written here. More about the type of data and the units you can find in the same article. What will be important to mention is that if you would like to use text format data, then you need to ensure that it will be associated with the category of other without any units to be used. Now let's jump to the lookup table itself. It will look like that. It will contain a bunch of columns associated parameters like dn, angle, thickness, but it is not exactly the angle. It will be coefficient defined in the model. Then property as thickness, outside diameter, radius, and weight of the element. What we have here also is a bunch of text parameters. First one associated with the description, second with the standard, third material, and the pipe spec. Pipe spec will be always with the value of dummy, as it is dummy spec. What will be important to mention is that when you're dealing with the text type parameters, you need to ensure that it will be with the type of other and without any units specified in. The second one, what's important to mention is that the first cell in the column always should be empty, because this column will be used as a default description of the parameter set. I would recommend you to avoid it and always use text parameter for input. Now let's save this file as CSV, because Revit using for import only CSV files. In case of the lookup tables, I will save it in the same folder. Now we can import CSV file that has been created. We can do it by click on import and select the file that we're looking for. Yes. One thing that will be important or good to mention in advance, you need to copy the name of the lookup table, because here inside of the family you need to define parameter that will be used for association with the lookup table name. It should be text kind of parameter. I will assign it to the group of general. General lookup table. No, not here, but here. Great. Once it is in, now we can start with connecting of the lookup table with the family parameters. Once lookup table is in, you need to write size lookup and then the next expression. First value before the comma, it is the name of the parameters to that linked and the lookup table. Then second is the value from the lookup table, value of the parameter. For that one, let's open it, search for it. Here we did call it as D1, should be D1. Then we need to specify value in case of failure. If, for example, there will be nominal diameter that is out of this or out of the range that been listed in the lookup table, as it is type of length with the units of the millimeters, we need to also define the value in millimeters that will be written in case of the failure. And then we need to specify lookup parameters. In our case, it will be first it is pipe x ppg dn, and the second one is the coefficient that I mentioned before. Now we will do the same for thickness. And yeah, that's it here. Then we will use almost the same expression. Yeah, let's park it for a bit. Let's add additional parameter as coefficient that will help us to define assistance value. How it will be calculated? We will use such expression to define a coefficient assistant height coefficient. Why do we need it? Because when it comes to elbows, the angles could be quite various based on the current model, or if you would prefer to design it under the certain slope, then it could be with, I don't know, 69.3, and we need this expression just to ensure that the in material takeoff will have the elbow with the rounded value. So if it will be between one angle equal to 1 degree and an 11, it will be 1, it will be equal to 10. If it will be between 31 and 46, then it will be 45 degree, and etc. As name language 1. In case of failure, will be written error. We will use the same search parameters, but I would advise you to add one additional. Maybe it wouldn't be the case in case of the elbows, but it would be the case for the different families. Yes, so it will be better to specify it even now. Okay. So the only thing that we need to do is just to copy paste this value and insert it here. Great. And it is already with the error. Lookup table. Okay, because here we also need to be careful when we specify the lookup values, because it will follow the certain sequence. It will go from the left to the right, so we need to ensure that the lookup properties written in the correct orders. So in our case, first should be nominal diameter, then it will be thickness, and then it will be description of the element. Oh, sorry. First it will be diameter, then it will be coefficient, and then it will be thickness. This order. Great. And here it is. Here it will be standard language 1 and material language. Units by default will be pieces. By default units can be pieces. Node is free to add. And now the last value missing, it will be 0 kilograms. Yeah, give us a second. And it will be the weight. Great. Well, basically that's it. Let's check how it works now. As you see, the value of the thickness has been adjusted already. I forgot about one property. Radius, of course. We still need to define the radius of the L. Great. Now it is finished. Yes, perfect. Now, once we will change the value of the nominal diameter, the geometry, will be updated based on the values from the lookup table, as well as the description, as you can see it here. And once we did change the angle to 60 degrees, it also works great. To try it out, let's load it to the random project. Yes, now it works perfect. When it comes to 45 degrees, when it comes to 60 or to 30, even to 20 and to 10. Yes, family works perfect. Description is also working as it was planned. Yes, perfect. Thank you for watching and see you next time.